Hi, everybody. This is Dr. K. I have a fantastic mom who's a part of my practice who has been on a healing journey to help her daughter. And, without any further ado, I want her to share with you what she has seen firsthand in the transformations that have taken place in their family with her daughter. So, Stephanie, why don't you take the lead to share with us what have you seen? What changes have you seen in your daughter?
Dr. K, I basically started this whole mycotoxin. She was exposed to mold mycotoxins. I started the protocol that you gave me. And the day that I started the protocol, my daughter told me I love you 3 times. So, number 1, I saw that. Number 2, let's go to number 2. Just aware more, paying attention more, looking at me and my husband more. Then even at school every day, sometimes you think to yourself, I'm a parent, maybe other people don't see this, but then now every day at school her teachers are telling me she's so engaged, she's following tasks that she couldn't before. My daughter's on the spectrum. She has autism, and it's difficult for her to sit and focus. She's now holding a pencil crayon at school by herself and coloring. She never has done that before. She's 5 years old, she's never done that before. And these are things that not just her mom is seeing, her teachers. So the speech, number 1 is the speech. Just being clear to say yes, no. I've never heard those from her before. Mm. I had a nonverbal child. I hate to use that word nonverbal, but not speaking yet. And to go from not speaking yet to saying I love you that day was a really, really big deal for my husband and I. So we're seeing that. We're seeing the speech and eye contact, more paying attention more to us and paying attention to her siblings more, being able to play with them more when she wasn't able to before, just being able to express her needs, basically, like, oh, I need this, brings it to me and asks for things, and just really more aware, more present, and more calm in her and comfortable in her own body. Just comfortable in her own body and her own skin, so she's able to be herself, to be free, for her soul to be who it's supposed to be.
She's shining shining through.
Exactly.
So she hadn't said I love you prior to this, is what the audience needs to understand, right?
No, she hasn't. Sorry.
That's okay.
No, she hasn't.
And your husband witnessed change too. So it wasn't just you and the teachers. What things did he comment on? What things did he see as an observer?
My husband is definitely more the glass is half empty than me, which is the glass is half full. He saw more, he just said, I can't believe how she's talking to us. She's never done this before. She's never been present like this before. She's doing so good. And for that, from a dad that is just so negative, and just finally to see the light that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Our daughter is healing, our daughter is doing better. Something is coming from all this work that we're putting in. Definitely makes it worth it.
Mm-hmm. And that's what this is about. And, I want to give you so much credit because you really inspire me is really the right word. And, you and other moms like you are really the reason why I push myself to keep learning and exploring and understanding. And you've been on this, before you even met me, you were on this journey, and you've done so much. Why don't you share a little bit about all of the things you've done kind of leading up to this, and then we'll talk about what really brought about this last bit of transformation.
So I started this journey when I noticed my daughter regressing when she was 2 years old. And I was pregnant at that time with my second child, and she's my oldest. So my hands were very full. And I noticed that I noticed this change in her, and you don't want to accept it. But I met with doctors and I searched things online, and I just read about other moms like myself now. And they said there's hope. There's something that can be done. So after that day, we had our first appointment with another holistic doctor, and he told me, you know what, you need to push forward. You cannot accept that there is nothing to be done. There's always something to be done. So that day I cut milk, I cut dairy, gluten, all the things. I started cooking everything from scratch for her. And then we started eating everything like that too. We started feeling better, and she started feeling better. So we noticed a change right away just from the diet. And after that, the diet, then we went on a compounded supplements. That was huge. We started homeopathy. We saw a huge change with homeopathy. My husband and I are the biggest fans of homeopathy. And my husband, like I said, is very type A, things by the book. For this guy to be like, hey, these white dots you're giving her, I don't know, but I see a crazy change in her. The homeopathy was a huge change, but what really, really, truly is when I started this mold detox, mycotoxin detox, whatever you want to call it, is when I feel like all these other things that I've been doing have started working.
Yeah, yeah, and
so
the
it's the missing link.
I'm happy to hear that. And, the analogy I share, and I think I shared this with you, is, by using these binders, we basically pull the sludge out of her system. And you can't supplement. If you can imagine a car that has a whole lot of sludge in it, and, you're like, okay, let me put rocket fuel in this, let me supercharge the engine, but the sludge is still there. The engine can't run well. And, sadly, like there are some articles out there that talk about how autism may ultimately be partially, at least, affected by mold. And I'm starting to become of the belief that at least 20% of what we call autism is actually mold toxicity. And I think what happened in this case with your beautiful little girl is, by using something as crazy simple as clay, bentonite clay, which is like $18 for a 16-ounce bottle, which would probably last you a full year.
Exactly.
I mean, it's so insanely cheap and so insanely easy and safe. You should do it under the guise of a doctor. I'm not saying for everyone to go buy clay and just start giving it to your kid, because you can cause issues. So you need to work with someone that knows what they're doing. But I mean, that's the beauty of this conversation, and really the power of this conversation, that for something that's dirt cheap, that shouldn't cause harm if it's being done appropriately, you can cause profound changes. And I've seen this, in a lot of other kids. And all we basically did is just pull the sludge out of her system. We pulled these mycotoxins out of her system, and this beautiful human being that's always been there is now shining through.
Exactly. Thank you.
Of course, of course. What else would you like to share?
I'd like to share with other moms that never give up. Never let anybody tell you no. This is the end for your child. There's always something that can be done for your kid. There's always something, always something. There's always a missing link, and it's really our jobs as their moms or their parents to just take all the tools that God is giving us, that the universe is giving us, and put them to help our kids. Because we see these behaviors and we think, fix the behavior, but no, we need to get to the root of this behavior so they can live the best life that they can. Just don't give up hope. There's always something that can be done. I promise you, no matter how severe or how scary it is, just focus on the positive, focus on what they can do, what your child can do, and not what they cannot do. When you focus on what they can do, more good comes.
I love that. I love that. And thank you. Thank you for for sharing that and putting it out, because I think there are a lot of families that lose hope. There are a lot of families that, I mean, they don't want to give up, but they just reach a place where they say, well, this is just how my kid is. And I just have to accept that he or she is the way she is. And it's not to say that we should not love them for who they are, where they are. It's not to say that we shouldn't accept how they are, where they are. But it's to also say that we have to keep the possibility open that there's another version of the child, a more beautiful, bright, awesome version of the child that's sitting there underneath the surface. But because there's sludge or whatever you want to say that's in their system, that true version of the child, the brighter version of the child can't shine through because they just don't have the physical, literally the physical capacity to do so. So
exactly. And it's to say, to add to what you said, is we can accept what is today. There's nothing wrong with what is accepting what is today. We have to accept this is what is today, but that doesn't mean that tomorrow will not hold a brighter future.
Amen. I love that. I love
you.
that. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to share. Thank you for being courageous enough to share.
Thank you for having me, and thank you so much for caring for my kid, my kids, and all the other children that you care for. We can't thank you enough for this community, for everything.
It's my honor. It's my
Truly.
honor. And, you know, thank you for allowing me to be a part of your and her healing journey. And, you know, you teach me as much as I hopefully can contribute to you. And I mean, my entire evolution as a physician and practitioner is because of families like you.
There are not many like you, Dr. K. Let's just put it that way. We're very blessed to have you, honestly. Thank you.
It's my honor to be of service. And thank you all for watching. And thank you for taking the time to, you know, just take in this video. And if it's inspiring you, share it with others, because that's really the reason why Stephanie and I took the time to do this, that we want to create inspiration, and we want families out there to realize that, you know what, there's hope. There's hope, and there are possibilities in healing that you may not yet know about. And the only way you're going to know that they exist is by just being open to the fact that, you know what, maybe there is more out there, and maybe I don't have to drive myself crazy, but I'm going to keep my heart open, and I'm going to keep my eyes open, and I'm going to keep searching, because there's an answer out there. We just need to find it.